From the point of light within the mind of God, let light stream forth into the minds of men, let light return to earth. From the point of love within the heart of God, let love stream forth into the hearts of men and women. May the Christ consciousness come to earth. In the center where the will of God is known, let the center guide the little wills of men and women, the center which the masters know and serve. And may it seal the door where darkness dwells. May the plan of love, light, and of power restore heaven on earth. Archangel Michael, Gabriel, Uriel, Raphael, Father Sky, Mother Earth, from the point of light that connects us all, please be here in this sacred circle of light. Allow me to be a clear channel. For our star brothers and sisters, for these beautiful star transmissions. I want to thank all the powers that be. I want to thank Chief Golden Light Eagle for agreeing to join us on our call tonight. And I want to invite everyone in that is listening to this transmission to realize that every breath is a prayer. Every breath is a prayer. Every breath is a prayer. Thank you so much for joining this evening. My name is Athena StarSeed. Somebody looks like they have a beautiful, warm, yummy space. Let's see, is that Kelly? Hi, okay, wonderful. Thank you for coming. We are expecting a couple others, including our Chief Golden Light Eagle, but I want to say I'm really honored that you made it a point to be present with us this evening. And those of you who are watching right now will be able to understand why, because together we have the ability to continue to raise the vibration of ourselves, our cells, and of our planet. So let's see here. I wonder if I have put on gallery view. Here we go. Okay, perfect. Now let's see if we go back here. Oh, good. We have 3. JP, you got here. Yay! Blessings and light. Okay, so everybody would be on mute. Now I'm trying to figure out here what's going on with the, let's see, we're waiting for Chief. Okay, let's see. Can everybody see all 3 of us, or which screen are we looking at? Unmic yourself for just a moment.
Yes, we can. We can see you, but we can also change within our gallery view. Can you see us?
Yes, I can. So I'm hoping that as soon as Chief Golden Light Eagle comes on, it'll just go between he and I as we channel. And then when we open it up, everybody will be able to pop in and out of their dimensions. So I guess we can stay where we are. It's so beautiful. I love the light over there. It looks like she has a beautiful candle lit, which is awesome. And you look like you're by candlelight. And I'm also by candlelight. Here's my candle light. Oh, beautiful. Yay. Okay. So I brought a little bell for Ganesha to start us off. So Ganesha is also behind me. I don't know if you can see. Can you see Ganesha? Oh, Chief Golden Light Eagle, please turn your camera on. Yay!
Okay.
The chief is in the house. I was just letting everybody know that they're going to be on mute and you and I will channel together, and then at the end we'll open up for some questions. Yay!
I've closed my eye.
Okay, so I wanted to start out by letting you know that I opened up a page to the book, the symbol.
Okay.
All right, and I want to read one of the channelings, and then I'd like you to start commenting on it, if that's all right.
I'll try. I can't remember.
You guys, here's the Chief Golden Light Eagle's in the house. So this is a book that the chief wrote, and it is called The Symbols, the Universal Symbols and Laws of Creation, a divine plan by which one can live. And the first time this book came in, it was blue, and I have read it so many times, the pages are falling out. And then I got the new copy, and I want to read this to you because it's applicable to what's happening right now. Okay. Change through thought. Beloved ones, this indeed is the night of the grandmothers. I am Holy Dove, the one to you as the Holy Spirit, who comes to you to be with you this evening. Know that I am blessed, and know that you are blessed, each and every one of you in this circle doth read or that hears these words. The dove of peace has descended onto Turtle Island. Her spirit in the first heavens is blessing everyone. Know, O peoples, that you must treat your relations, the animal nations, with great respect, for they have held the balance for you when you didn't even know such a thing. O peoples, that you must give respect and honor to the plant and the tree nations, so they have fed you when you did not even know that you were hungry. You must respect the stone and the mineral nations as well, the invisible ones who walk about, for indeed, if they were not by their own guidance of the two-leggeds, would have fallen into their own traps, and then would have been trapped forever. It is the divine spirit, the dove, that is with you this evening. I am here to deliver a message to you. There is a great river of light which is approaching quickly. There are energies known to you as the Sirian Council, as photonic energy, that are known to you now as the spirit of the dove. O peoples of Mother Earth, prepare your hearts, for indeed your very thoughts, your very feelings will quickly manifest very soon. There are indeed many councils of star nations among you now. They are perhaps that friend that you talked to today and spoke with, somebody that you did not expect, or perhaps a passerby, a stranger giving you a blessing, or even just a smile, or perhaps it was the clerk that gave you a joke and that you had fun with today. Know that the star councils are here in many, many forms. And then I'm just going to skip down to this one little part here that says, know, O people, that you must walk in peace. Peace is the energy of this age. Peace is the teachings of Aquarius. Peace is the lightning bolt of truth. Do understand, O peoples, that the dove of peace will awaken within you the spirit of grace if you allow her. This ocean tide of sacred spirit is already washing Mother Earth. It is already washing the nations of life. It is already washing the two-legged world around. It is washing the sky nations as well. It is the power of spirit present. O peoples, call upon the beloved Saint Germain. He is indeed the teacher of this age. You must understand, O peoples, there is now a new alchemy abounding. There is now a new spirit upon this land. This is that spirit of peace, which Emmanuel did promise would descend once again. It has descended now upon Turtle Island.
Good message. I have to ask you, what does it mean? You know, I worked with a lot of channelers and, you know, a lot of healers, clairvoyants, mediums, name it, you know, telepathy. And one of my sister, Reverend Jean Holmes, she would more or less let everybody know. I said, all right, you people listen up, because when whatever comes out of my mouth doesn't belong to me. So listen, it's going to belong to one of you, and I'm not going to remember it. So she would do her channels, and later on she would come back. She said, hey, do you got that recording? What did I say? So when you were talking like that, this was like 1996, somewhere around in there, that message, you know, and it kind of like, you know, put me in that little place, that little zone. And one of the things when they said that Dove of Peace, Grandma Chandra used to use that book that you're reading for her readings and stuff like that. Even though she's telepathic, somebody would ask her a question and she would say page 122 or page this, page that, you know, through her mother. And then for some odd reason, or maybe it was a good reason, it wasn't an accident, but they lost the book, so they started doing channels from the keys of Enoch. So I got some visitations from that group come over here, and they were like interested in the things that I was saying or what I was channeling and stuff like that. But so they gave me a book, and I paged through it. And in that page, it had like all the ley lines, or the, you know, ley lines of the earth. And this one ley line, they brought out this dove, you know, the dove of peace. And I was looking at that, and the center was around Kansas City, Missouri, you know. And so when I started working with Grandma, her mother told me that that's where she was born, right there. So whenever you talked about the dove, the holy dove, you know, I think of Grandma Chandra, you know, during that, where she was born, right there in the center of the dove. So she probably is really a big part of this message, big part of this, you know, this light that we're all working through and we're working with. So when you were reading that, her name came into my heart, and so did Reverend Jean Holmes. But yeah, it's a very beautiful message. It's kind of like made me think a lot about what Spirit was saying way back in the past about these changes that are coming. And they gave some high vibrational message down to a very grounded message. And there were like messages that just said, "Oh no, there's a catastrophe coming," you know. But then as time goes, you kind of forget about it until when the time comes, something happens like this. And a lot of the group, the 12 men that I worked with, they would say, "Hey, remember Spirit said this, you know, remember they said that. Remember the Spirit said we'll be buying water in the store," you know. There's a lot of things, a lot of synchronicities that were taking place. So this here is just a big part of that synchronicity, you know, of what Holy Dove, what she's talking about. But they don't give details, but they give you the energy that it takes to start preparing, because it's all about free will, you know. They can't tell you what to do, but they just say, here's what's coming, and the rest is up to you. So we look at things like that. And one of the things that over here, you know, living on the res, is everybody's pretty grounded, you know. They're down to earth. They're pretty intact. We got ceremonies going on every day, you know, over here. In fact, there's, you know, like tonight there's ceremony. Last night we had one with the Pleiades and white, beautiful white buffalo calf woman, and Wichach Pewi, which means Venus, you know. And somebody texted me and said, well, what's going on with the Pleiades and Venus, you know? I said, oh, last night white buffalo calf woman came, and so did Lady Venus. So they said there was some kind of a conjunction that's happening with them. I said, yeah, they gave us a message, but it's not it's over here. It's a simple, down to earth message because that's the way people are. So all they said was, don't believe in the government line. Don't give it any energy, you know. So, and today we found out that there's really nothing too much happening. You know, what they say is the news and the reality of what they're saying. People are starting to question. People are starting to look at things on that level. And of course, over here, we got all the tribes, you know, all the tribes of the United States, of Turtle Island, and they all had treaties with the United States, and they're all broken. They were all lied to. So they really don't believe what comes out of the mouth of DC. You know, they kind of like, right, you know, let that go. But there's so many over here that just going about business like nothing's happening. And no matter what happens, it doesn't affect them. They're down to earth people. They know what to do. It's not a big concern because I always tell people, money is usually the biggest thing, you know, on the earth plane. On the physical plane. Over here, I always say, well, Indian people never had money before the white man came, you know, and they still don't have any money. So it doesn't affect them because they know the earth. They know how to live off the earth when the time comes. So that we grew up, we lived like on $54 a month, you know. And we learned how to live. We knew what to do, how to, we had to learn. There was no way out of it. So it's not too much of a annoyance, you could say, or a worry. So they go back to, because Spirit said, be prepared, because in the future, you're going to go back into the ways you lived 100 years ago. So I said, oh, okay, that sounds pretty cool. In that way, people traded, you know. There was no money. They didn't have any money even back then. So it's not a big concern, and they don't, like myself. I haven't watched TV in 20 years, you know. So I don't have that built-in a system of falling apart, you know. Paranoia and stuff like that. So when I do hear it from other people, I say, oh, okay, that's all right. You know, that's the way people are, and that's their life, and that's good. So that all of that's going on, and you're looking in reference to what the message of Holy Dove, and staying in your light, staying in your love, staying in your beauty is the way to go about things, you know, during this time. And you have to break all your routines, which is really good, because that's what I learned. Don't get into a routine, you know. Don't get into a routine, because once you think that's your stability, it's not. Because when that's taken out from underneath you, you're going to fall apart too. You know, be you, be your own self. Be your own self. So that was a big part. I always had issues with like the authority issues, the issues of that, because I grew up in a what do you call it, the religious Catholic church boarding schools with the priests and nuns, and they whipped us every day about noon, you know. Not the, it was more of the nuns. There was a few nuns that I don't know what they got off on it or something, you know, but they didn't have no reason to whip us, but we got whipped. And we were small. We didn't have nothing to compare it with, you know. I don't know if we thought all these other schools were doing it, and we're out in the middle of nowhere. And so that's where I grew up. Yeah, and I mean, they hit you. I mean, hit you with their hand. They knocked me downstairs, and then one of them grabbed my ear, both ears. That's why our ears are big. They grabbed my ears and they pounded my head up on against the wall, you know, brick wall. All I seen was flashes. But there was a lot of physical abuse like that. But when I got in high school, I was sitting there in the music room one day and I was thinking about my little brother, my brother Sherwin. He later became a chief. He's known as Wichak Beto Mambli Tmacha, you know, this Blue Star Eagle man. And I thought of him. He was my little brother, and what's he doing? And all of a sudden I thought, oh no, I hope they're not whipping him. You know, it's noon. I hope they're not there. So there was a guy with me. I'll tell you his name because I don't know if he's dead or alive, because most of my people I went to school with are all gone. His name's Jerry. And I said, Jerry, why don't you go to the campus and holler, emergency, emergency, you know? I'll give you $1, because pop was like a quarter then, you know? So he said, yeah. So all the students came in and they said, what's the emergency? So I said, hey, remember, we used to get whipped every day at noon? The nuns and the priests, they're probably whipping our little brothers and our little sisters, and we got to put a stop to it, you know? So they agreed. Okay. I said, we're going to have a meeting with all the priests and the nuns and administration, the faculty, the teachers, the parents, everybody. So I asked one of the brothers there, Brother Martin, I said, we need a meeting. He said, what about? I said, well, when you make it happen, you'll know. So in the meantime, we asked the seniors, you guys don't pay attention to what we're doing. You guys get your education and graduate, you know, because we know that we're going to get expelled for what we're going to do. So when we had the meeting, we asked all the priests and nuns to go home, you know, to go home, go back where you come from. Because what you're doing, what you're preaching to us doesn't match what you're doing, you know.
So is this, Chief, is this
making us cut all our hair off, every hair, you know.
Chief, is this, do you believe that this time right now is for each and every one of us to tune into our own Holy Spirit so that we can what's happening in the reality?
Yeah, there's you have to hit the 3D. You have to go down and you have to backtrack and go to where you left off, because there's some things that you needed to backtrack on in order to keep that completeness of yourself, those little fragments here and there. And it might be something like saying, I'm sorry to somebody, you know, or you thought of this, or you did that, or there's some little things that you gotta, there's little fractures in your life that you gotta take care of. And it might be with somebody that's living or somebody that's gone on the other side. It has to, you know, with that helps you to be complete about yourself, because as teachers, we have no other choice but to do that type of stuff. So that was probably, I've done that early, you know. And of course, when I asked everybody to leave, I got expelled, you know. And but the other kids, they kept on going, and it was a time when Vietnam started too. So some of the boys would go to Vietnam or get their training, they'd come back, then they'd challenge the priests. Father, you did this to me. I'm 18 years old now. I can take care of myself. Come on. And they actually beat a few priests up, you know. And they eventually all moved. Today they all moved out, you know. They disbanded their whole monastery over in what they call Blue Cloud Abbey, and they're all gone. All the nuns are gone. There's 2 orders of nuns. So doing something that makes change, And one of the things I asked at that time, I was a junior in high school, and when the priests were talking, I'd just tell them to shut up and sit down. We don't want to hear what you have to say anymore, because we want our language back. We want our ceremonies. We want to grow our hair. We want to sing. We want to dance. We want to do our ceremony. We want to do all of this. So I had to say that, you know, on a very grounded level. And what happened is, of course, they expelled me. 12 years later, this guy comes back, and he's like 6'5". He comes to the door about 7 in the morning, knocking at my door. So I opened the door. I said, "What are you doing here? You don't even like me, but come on in anyway." You know. So I made some coffee. So I asked him what's on the agenda. He said, "You know what? You've been on my mind. 12 years you've been on my mind." He said, "And what you were saying way back when, 12 years ago, you were right. But we were under orders, you know." So he said, "What I come to ask you for help." He said, "From your age to present, nobody's coming to church. Nobody. How could I get them to come to church?" So I said, "Well, you could start by telling the truth." So he didn't say anything to that. I said, "What else?" He said, "Well, I come to apologize, you know. I come to ask for your forgiveness." So I said, I'm not going to fall for that. You're putting all the weight on my shoulders. I didn't do anything. You're the guys that had all the problems with the physical abuse, sexual abuse, you know, emotional abuse, and spiritual abuse." I said, "Don't put that on my shoulders." I said, "You didn't even say you're sorry, or you didn't come clean with everything that you guys done." I said, "What? Let me ask you this. Before I even think about forgiveness," I said, "I want to ask you something." I said, "Do you believe in that Bible?" He said, "Yes." "With your whole mind?" He said, "Yes." "With your whole body?" I said, "Yes." "With your whole soul, heart?" He said, "Yes." "With your whole spirit and your, you know, and your essence and everything that you're made of in this universe?" He said, "Yes." I said, "Okay. Do you know do you know this law that says thou shalt not steal? Isn't that in there?" So he said, "I believe so." I said, "Okay. All that land that you guys stole in the name of God, give it back. You know, then I'll just think about forgiving you. And plus, there's much more than that, you know." So he just sat there for a long time. He just sat there and he just said, "You got me. You got me." But it took like 2 years, and here one day he come to the house. He had these 2 big boxes, walking in and put one on the table. I said, "What?" Then he turned around, went back, got another big giant box, and they were heavy for him. He put them on the table. So I said, "What are those?" And they're all filled with paper and stuff, files of this and that. He said, "Oh, these are the deeds to all the land, all the buildings, you know, that you asked for." So he gave, I mean, we have like 440,000 acres, you know, and a lot of it's all checkerboard, and all of that checkerboard was land that belonged to the church. So he gave that back. So we got to stand during this time. We got to stand. This is kind of like a resting time right now. Time to reflect a little bit first and see what you've done, see what you accomplished, all your mission, your purpose, and your sacred responsibility that you came in with. So this spirit said, "This rest a little bit. You know, you did a lot of work. Rest your mind, rest everything. Go dance, go sing, go do something, you know, that makes you feel good. You're free, you know." The ones, if you give your control away, then you're not free. I mean, if you believe a lie or whatever, if you're under control, then you're not free. But so you're free. There's nothing going on. It's just words. So I felt good about that, you know. So backtrack. Okay, what do we need during this time? Backtrack and start filling in all those fractures, gaps, those cracks in your auric field, you know, and that makes you a more complete person, you know. There's a little glue here and there that needs some mending, and even though you feel that you forgave everybody, sometimes there's somebody that didn't forgive you. They're not on the same page, you know, but they will be. So things like that are taking place, but it's all coming together. This is a beautiful time. Doesn't feel like it to some people, but this is how you want to look at things. Some people thank Trump for all of this, you know, but I know all the what's going on in the background, how the spirit leads and how the clowns lead my mind sometimes. So anyway, that's enjoy this time. Enjoy it. They're all the things that they're using as a fear-based thing. It's just what it is. It's just a fear-based threat and stuff like that. It's you're gonna hear a lot of things, a lot of goofy things, you know, a lot of truths, mistruths, misunderstandings, and lies, but it all works together towards the same result anyway. So the result you already created, so you got to step back and let it happen. And have fun. There's no other way.
So, Chief, I just want to say that having this break to retreat, to have a global retreat where as many people as possible can sit and just breathe and relax and actually do that work, that very work where you go through an inventory of every year of your life and every being that you've ever had and interacted with, and clearing that karma and blessing those experiences, bless everything, bless everything, bless everything as an evolution. That, yeah, to have us return back to Mother Earth and to be able to ground in and actually live a more humble, simplistic life. I feel that we're not going to ever be able to go back to what was normal, because that normal was abnormal and it was making everyone sick. So whether they think the virus is making them sick, or their vibration is making them sick, or their pacing gets interrupted so they can go back into homeostasis, the Holy Spirit will be working its light in everyone.
Mm-hmm. You know, one of the good things about this is that I did so much traveling that I just made wherever I'm at home. You know, every inch of land, wherever I drive, or it's home. So when I heard them say, stay home, I said, oh, okay, I'm, you know, wherever I go is home. If I go down the block, or go down to the store, or go down the next reservation, go over the next state, it's home. So it depends on how you see home. If you want to see it in a little box, good. If you want to see it in your heart, if home is your heart, hey, get in there, you know. You have to look at it in different ways. Get in your heart, that's your home. But my home is this whole Mother Earth, you know, Turtle Island. So it's fun. It's not putting any control things on me. It's just allowing me to travel a little bit more.
Chief, you were talking to me earlier about the timelines, and that the origin of fear on the cave paintings, and how you could put your hand on the wall and you would actually absorb the energy from the mineral kingdom and you would get an upload. Now, have we already passed into 5D, most of us? I mean, are there, like, you know, with the prophecies that where humanity comes up or actually goes down into destruction, are there two parallel Earths happening?
Say, we're up 13G. we bypassed that long time ago. All the light workers and all that, they've already done the work, you know. It's the 3D people that are scared of 5G. We've already done it. it's nothing to us. We just watch them go crazy. Because it's just all it is get your immune system intact. You know, you have to be strong on a body. So all this stuff that's happening, whether it's a wave of whatever it is, radar, radiation, whatever. If your body's, your immunity and your alkaline balance is pretty smooth, that stuff's not going to bother you at all. You know, you've gone through it. So this is just we watch everybody, and we're all happy because you know that we already, you know, it's already been done. But this other thing, we've already experienced it, not knowing we experienced it. You know, that's what got us through. But when somebody puts the fear factor in anything that they're going to go through, then yeah, they're going to panic and get paranoid and get sick, you know, because of worry, because of the fear. The fear gets them that way. So if you understand a little bit about the energy and the of fear, in fact, you know what? A couple of nights ago, what was that? What's today? I lost track of time. Today's the 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th.
6.
Okay, that night of the 4th, this guy comes to me and he said that these stars, the stars come from Orion. These three, he said, I seen them 3 stars, they come down and the one came in and landed right in front of me, and it was a small ship. He said there's a little guy got out of there. He's about that high, maybe about 2.5 feet high. He said he was a reptilian. I said, oh yeah, I've seen a couple of them guys. So they're pretty cool, you know. And we're reptilian too, you know. We have that the reptilian energy, but a lot of people think as we could regenerate our cells and stuff like that. That's that reptilian, beautiful reptilian energy, but they don't want you to know that. They want you to stay sick so that you can get a couple dollars off you, you know. But that's beautiful reptilian energy. But anyway, he was telling me about that. And he wanted to know about those stars. So I said, oh, yeah, where you at? Those are the Orion people that come to pay you visits. And on this side of those 3 stars, that one side over here is all these people. They call them the 12 lords of light. And this over here is 12 lords of darkness. And you represent that center one. So any situation that comes in, you get to work with all this energy. You know, these 24. You could call them. What do you call them? Anger, love, gentleness, strength, you know, jealousy or whatever, or fear or unconditional love. You get to choose whatever you want out of those, the good and, you know, out of those 12 emotions in the situation that's in front of you. So that's what he brought to you, to understand that, you know, to be a good leader, you got to be neutral, not get involved with whatever it is there, because you're gonna put yourself on a side, you know, and you're not going to be able to help anybody when you choose this side or that side. So it helped them to understand that, you know, this is what they choose. You got to accept the reality and the results of what you chose. And it's all right. That's just learning, you know. Then you can use that in an experiential lesson later on to help other people. So we got unconditional love, and we got fear, you know. So, you know, like millions of years ago when Mars was having its issues, they knew that because of what they're doing, they had a spiritual mind way. They were like us. They had a beautiful way, a spiritual mind way. And the earth was unconditional love. That's the energy of earth. And it used to be called Eden. You know, much like the sun has like 52 different names depending on the timelines of you know, the people that lived on the earth. Today we just call it sun. We call its nearest star sun. It was Ra, it was Blaze, it was Solar, there was different names like that. Apollo. So when Mars was having its issues, it started looking at Earth as a potential. That's where they're going to come, and they knew enough to say, oh wait, no, our energy, our vibration is not the same vibration of that Earth, of that Eden. So so somebody said, well, we could incarnate there. They said, no, that we still can't do that because our energy is not the same. So it took them a long, thousands of years to figure something out. And there was 3 different star systems, and that their systems were going to go naturally, So but they were also looking for a place to reincarnate on or incarnate. So when the Martian people, they talked to them, said, oh, okay, you guys, there's this place over here that your energy is the same as yours, so maybe you could go over there, But they didn't have the ability to figure out how to get there. So the Martians said, oh, we'll help you. Anyway, they steered a meteorite, okay? They steered this meteorite towards this Earth, to this Eden. But Eden, this place, this garden, there used to be one language there. In fact, here, where we're sitting today, there was only one language, and that language was this language was telepathy. The original language, they call it the language of light, the language of love. So, and there was no need to really make words like what we're doing today. So they steered this meteorite in, and when it hit, it was like popping a balloon, or but a big balloon, and the sound of that big pop, it knocked everybody down. It split the skull in half, and it knocked out, of course, it blew out the eardrums, and everything almost went extinct. So over a course of a few million years again, that come up, the evolution of a new man came in. And when they were just about set and ready, well, they brought in another one. Same thing. And they brought in another one. Same thing happened. They brought in another one. They were about 5 meters big. And over the planet, you can see where these places are. So, but what that did is that brought in fear, the element of fear, that sound. So it embedded fear in the DNA, but it had to keep going over millions of years just to develop fear. So all the animals have it, flight or fight thing. The birds have it. You go out there, even though you're in this beautiful way, you call upon a bird, they're not come to you because they still have fear of the human beings because how crazy 2-leggeds are, They like to kill animals, shoot animals and birds, and kill whales. They're crazy. A lot of the people are crazy like that. So the energy and the DNA of them, they won't very seldom come near you. So that fear is here. We're born with fear, and that goes way back in that time. And that created the duality of fear and love. That was the duality. And it was created by the Martians so they could incarnate here on Earth. So the first place they went to was Lemuria, but Lemuria said no, and they did a mass suicide. They sunk their place in a matter of a few minutes. So they hitchhiked over. They went to Mood too, and that happened. And they went over to Atlantis, and they're able to sneak in on them guys over there, because they were sort of like innocent, very innocent. So they didn't know what was going on because they didn't have the devious mind, they didn't have that mind, so they couldn't figure out what was going on. They're just doing their thing. So they got that planet, and they messed that up real good and fast, and that went down too. But the energy of it moved around. It was all, the energy of fear was all still fractured, but it was still heavy, you know. The energy of Mars is still here. And they still use it every day, you know. So we get to use love, they get to use fear. And we're both good at it. We're both doing God's work, you could say. GOD, what do they call it? Genesis of diversity. It's not a person, but it's everything, you know. It's not a bearded old guy sitting up there someplace called heaven. It's all of us. You know, all of us put together as God. So yeah, fear, you got to know where the origins are. So I had a dream about Grandma Chandra, and the stars were made up. I noticed that the stars were part of those petroglyphs. So I went down there to see her on her birthday. She wanted me to come down, so I went down there. So I told her, Grandma. She said, yes, Wednesday, you know. Okay. So I went to Moab, Utah, got a hotel room. Then her and her mother came up that Wednesday, and there was a crew of us that went out. So she interpreted maybe about 20 or 30 petroglyphs, you know. The story of dualities in there. I got it all on tape. I didn't put it out public, but I should maybe one of these days. Maybe I'll give you a copy of everything that she shared. And then I made a couple of tapes there, but just on one petroglyph, it took me 2 hours to interpret, you know, because when you look at petroglyphs, you usually see a figure of a person. So what goes in my mind was, hey, I wonder who that person was. That person had to be so important enough for somebody to draw his picture on the wall or do something, you know. And he has a message. He had a message. So anyway, I seen this petroglyph, long petroglyph with all these look like cutouts, you know, and you get these paper cuts and then open it up and there's all these little people holding hands. I said, I count them, 24 people standing in a petroglyph holding hands. So I said, I know who they are and I know what their message is. And the 24 messengers, I know who they are today. They had different names way back, but I can't form them with my mouth, but I know their message. So it took like 2 hours to give all the messages of those 24 people that are on the petroglyphs. So like we was sharing earlier, is that a lot of people look at the writings on the wall, the petroglyphs, but they have to do some work. They just can't just say, wow. They're led there for a reason, you know. They're led, every place you go, there's a reason behind everything. So you got to figure that reason out. So when we went to this first one, it was a tall stone. It was like over a couple of 100 feet tall. And it was different than all of the rest of the stones there, the rocks. So I asked Grandma, where'd this stone come from, you know? She said, oh, it came from down in those some like Samoan Islands or someplace out there. They gifted it to a group of people over there in Northwest tribes. And the tribes gifted it to these tribes down here. You know, and talking like that makes you think, okay, how did they make a big old rock move from there to over here to over here, you know? But they were able to do that stuff a long time ago, you know, and we were all a part of it. So this stone, I sang this song, and this big old stone said, this is Because nobody has ever done this. Nobody has ever sang a song to us, you know. All they want to do is put holes on us and climb us. So what we did was we went into what I like to call a different type of 0 point, where you have to cleanse your mind of nothing, you know. You have to feel the area, you have to feel who lived there, you know. Okay, the people live there. And how, but I had a dream. I just now remember this dream, and it came true exactly the way I dreamed it. And I was going down the road and heard these deer. I seen them prairie dogs, these little tiny, you know, little guys about that tall. They live in the ground. And then I seen these deer. They come in front of us. They stopped right in front of the roads, made us stop. So we got out, and them deer, they walked, and they went over this little ridge. So I followed them, and I looked over there, and here there was a village. There's like a canopy of trees. There's village, lots of people there. They're all naked, no clothes, and it was quiet. I hear the kids laughing, running around, and one of the girls that was with me, she seen it. I was looking at these there's two grandmas standing there up against the wall, but they had like lasers coming out of their eyes, and they were drawing these figures into the wall, into that stone with their eyes. It was like a laser, and but they weren't using our head the way we use them to draw. They were using their knees, bend their knees, and they, you know, they move their body to keep their head straight. But the laser was drawing those symbols. So they turned around and they looked at us, and I thought they were happy to see me. They all got happy. They would come over, they ran by me, and they hugged her. So they're all happy, like they never seen each other for a million years, you know. So I was standing there, so okay. So I was looking around, and the kids were playing. She had the son and the twins. She was a twin, and they had twins. So they were playing, and they wanted to stay. And she said, "We gotta go home." So I said, "What for? Look at this. Look at how beautiful here. You know, why are you gonna go home?" She said, "They gotta go to school." I said, "This is school right here." You know, but no, I gotta go. But anyway, that dream, I seen them women making those, and I remember my father saying that to me before he, you know, about 30, 40 years ago. It was over in Pipestone, Minnesota, and there was a lot of etchings in the stone up on the walls. And he said, "We anupa." So what? We anupa. The women made those. They did the work of two women, you know. Oh, okay. I don't know what he meant with that, but that dream, those two women making those drawings on the wall, then it connected me back to what Dad was saying, you know, way back when. So learning to read those petroglyphs, because there's so much information that we're the ones that the artists that drew those messages, you know. And I watched a little girl, 12 years old, like much like Reverence, interpret all of those drawings on the wall. She was 12, she said, but she said same thing Reverend Jean said. She said, I don't know how come these words are coming out of my mouth, but you better listen. You know, she was like, kind of like a little grandma Stern like that. But yeah, so watching all that take place, and how they talk about way back when and how things are today, that's what they're putting on the walls. So we got those interpretations. Grandma Chandra, I got those. and I'll put them out here pretty soon if I could find them. You know, there's like it's big time stuff, and it's all about love and growth. You know, getting through all of this, which is we already did already. We're just like, take a rest, take a break. So, yeah, we're working. I went outside a little while ago, and I thought about that. Oh, this is when I have to bring in the 1414 energies, and I have them. I didn't know I had them all these years. Been walking with them, and finally it just hit. You know, oh my God, I got them. I didn't know I had them. You know, so I have to put all that together. So that's what I got when I was outside. So okay, I'll do it.
Chief, I have noticed the sun is really white where I am. The
Yeah.
sun is a different color, and it's been really interesting because I've been going out in the sun every day, and it's like overcast, and then it bursts out white light, and then in the evening it always rains.
Mm-hmm.
What's the white sun?
That's the white buffalo sun. They call it the white buffalo sun, but it's the same thing that she was talking about. What they call that? It's just like
Holy
a
dove.
brain.
The holy dove. The holy dove.
But it's the energy of it. What they call it? I'll get it later.
They said the photonic light.
Yeah, the photon, yeah, energy.
The photon, there's a photonic energy that's streaming down on our planet right now. And you wrote this 20 years ago?
That's what it is, yeah. So
when I saw the cave paintings in Egypt, I also noticed that the pharaohs every 26,000 years would catch these rays that would come from Ra in the sky, and it would upgrade their DNA. So are we being upgraded by the photonic fields of light when we're out?
Oh yeah, it's all pure. Well, the way the spirits says it and the way science says it are two different things. And the way the star people say it are another way. But the spirit, the earth, they say that's just love. It's just pure love. Enjoy it, you know. But they always say, get out of the sun, you're gonna get burnt, you're gonna die, you know. They put the fear into that again, you know. Don't get dirty. I said, shit, every inch of ground is holy. There's something growing on all this, you know. That means it's alive. Giving energy to anything that put a little seed in there, that, you know, the earth will just, so don't be afraid to get dirty, you know, get muddy. It's all love, and people can't see that. It's all a blast of pure love, so that's what's going to get us through a lot of stuff. No way out.
So is it okay if I open up to a couple questions now, Chief? Because we're coming right up on the hour here. Is there anybody that would like to unmute themselves and ask Chief Golden Light Eagle any questions about either the transmissions of the Holy Spirit or what time we're in right now, or what they can do to add more love to their life?
Okay. Remember this, though, before you ask a question, was that usually you have the answer before you ask it. And you just want to have a confirmation of what you already know. We went 14 years without asking questions with the Spirit. The Spirit said, if you want to learn something, listen. And don't ask questions. So 8 years, we just listened to the Spirit. That was our teacher. After about 8 years, they said, now you can ask a question. And everybody's like, what? You know? You know, they gave us the answers over the years, or we experienced what we were asking about. So anyway, any questions? I don't know everything. I'll probably have to ask you for the answer. I just listen and watch, you know. And a little thing will pop on every now and then, a little bell. Something so simple. Okay, who do we have? Is anybody around?
We have Red Wonder, we have Alyssa, we have JP. If there's anybody that wants to say hello to the chief, this is your time before we close out.
Yeah, it's a good time visit. We'll do it.
You have to unmute yourself. JP, are you on here? All right, we look like we have a very, very shy group here. So Chief, I love you and I appreciate your channel. I appreciate you sharing some time with us, and you're broadcasting all the way from the reservation. You're in South Dakota?
Yeah. Yep, Buffalo country.
Buffalo country. Okay, well, I'm going to come to the reservation soon. I am very excited. I want to get myself out on the home earth and travel a little bit and come and see you to do some ceremony.
Yeah.
And hopefully if they have another Sundance, I'm there with you.
June.
June, yay!
Yeah, June's always Sundance. Starts Sundance season around here. There are a couple of Sundances going on down here. So all the Star and all the crew wants to dance down here this year, so we're gonna make it happen.
So I'm just going to wrap up with a couple little things that I've been doing to help my emotions release. I've been intermittent fasting. I've been walking every day, trying to get in 5 miles, and just kind of like feeling my feelings, resting when I need to rest. I light candles every day. I do burn a fire, and I've been chanting and praying and doing medicine songs. I walk the medicine wheel, Chief, the one that you blessed in the backyard.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm having a wonderful time being a stay-at-home mother, and I'm just doing my soul readings
Okay.
in between my homeschooling with my daughter, and I'm really loving my life. So this is a really great time for me.
Yeah. And not much changed through all of this, because you can still stay home with the kids, with the babies, you know. It's like not the other ones have to, they have a routine. You have to go out and work. Then when they're ordered for the kids come home, stay home from school, and it just rearranges their life, you know. Spend more time. But with you, you're homeschooling, so it's no big issue.
Yeah, well, I'm homeschooling now because she used to go to a Waldorf, and then they let us take her home, which is beautiful. So she just goes on the computer 3 times a week, and she's talking to some of the teachers, and the rest of it we get to do here. And we're building forts, we're making food. We just did a guinea pig tarot deck. So she's learning the major arcana, and she's 9, and she definitely is teaching me every kind of wonderful wonder, like the little grandmothers you're talking about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's fun. Hello.
Thank you. That was really nice. I'm just soaking it all in. I didn't really have any questions, but I just really like all the confirmations of stuff that I've heard over the years, and it just feels good to have it resettle in my soul. So thank you for all your.
Somebody's speaking in your window behind you.
Oh, that's Nancy, my little puppy.
Oh, you blacked out. I don't know what happened to you.
Here I am.
Oh, there you are.
Nikki. Her name's Fancy Nancy Sin City Sinatra.
Oh, okay. These boots are made for walking?
Yeah.
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 What else? I remember that one. So how'd that get on the radio?
People sing that to us all the time when we're on a walk, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Hey.
Yeah.
She's going crazy looking for you. Who's that? Look, can you see? Who's looking for you? What's that? Here, look. Come here, look.
Okay.
Yeah, you got it going.
So what do you do
Me?
besides? Yeah.
I live in Las Vegas and I'm just at home,
Okay.
you know,
All right.
trying to learn to live with my husband.
Yeah.
I mean, it's great, but he was usually at work every day. So, you know,
Mhm.
I mean, he's kind of going,
Daughter living in Las Vegas and a whole bunch of grandchildren over there.
oh, yeah?
Wow.
Um,
Great grandchildren too.
I think I did a mushroom ceremony with you one time,
All
or a
right.
peyote ceremony in Utah.
Okay.
But I mean, because you feel really familiar.
Yeah. There's a whole bunch of ugly guys out there. A bunch of goofy guys. Yeah. So yeah, I've been doing ceremony just about every place I go, every place I stop. I have to do a ceremony, you know.
Yeah.
Honor the spirit of the land and the grandmas and grandpas and all of that has to be done. Somebody has to do it.
No, I'm grateful to do it. And yeah, I'm so grateful to you to be welcomed into the circles too, and you know, the barriers are going down, and that the love can be shared and the healing can be shared. So, it's, I mean, you know, yeah, it's a little bit, you know, sketchy time maybe for the people that like me that have grown up with this double brainwashing, but and then that want to cross over into this what we believe and where we see there were wrongs, and where sometimes we feel shame to be associated with like these people that brought so much devastation. But then again, to realize that and become aware of that and be able to grow and to be included in the ceremonies and to be able to just vibrate in similar love, openness, appreciation, respect, reverence, and all that. It's changed my life.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you for that.
Yeah, it could happen about anywhere. I think when I was small, I was living in LA. My dad and them went to LA for some reason, and I remember coming into LA, and I couldn't stand the smell of it. My eyes watered, and everything teared, and my eyes burned, you know. But we got settled. I remember every night somebody would knock on the window. We lived, you know, on the second floor of this apartment building. Somebody knocked on the window, so I'd go over there, but there'd be somebody standing there staring at me, you know. But I didn't have any kind of like, you know, any kind of feeling of that. Here, it's 2 floors up, you know, with somebody standing on a ladder or something, talking or, you know, peeking in the window. Every night, I hear that knock on the window, so I go over there and I peek in, I look, and well, I think the last time somebody knocked, so I opened up the curtain and I was looking, and this person had a turquoise suit, you know, a suit, and I was in my mind, so that's kind of different, you know, different. But my mother come up behind me and she said, "Oh," you know, I got scared, and that spirit or whatever it was disappeared. But you know, I think that's what they call the you know, the breaking of innocence, shattering of innocence. Because after that, I couldn't see spirit anymore. Because I used to watch them when they be they're not walking, they're floating. You know, they're floating, and you know, the different types, and that it broke something in me. That fear, when we're talking about fear and love. So the energy of it didn't allow me to see them anymore. for a while. So spirits, they have love. Their vibration they have up to like 220 dimensional levels. So, but as human being, when you raise your levels like that, you could see them, and maybe somebody else will see something different, but they might be on a different dimension. Every now and then they'll say, "Do you see that?" Yeah, I see that. You're on the same level, same dimensional house, same mansion, you could say. So when you're working with I work with mainly today 11th, 12th, and 13th dimensional levels. And under the laws of attraction, I work with the same people that work in the same area as I am, because we're all part of that star group. Like with Athena, she's part of that as well. You're part of that too, otherwise you wouldn't be part of tonight's, thing. So, but you gotta get to that circle around there in Las Vegas, wherever you're at, find that circle or create one, to keep your energy up, keep it moving.
I'm in Summerlin.
Huh?
Summerlin, Las Vegas.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah. You disappeared again. So I'm missing. Where's that little dog? I'm missing the little dog.
Oh, I'm right here.
Oh, there you are.
I think it's whenever we speak, the yellow box goes to us, and then it puts us on the main screen.
Okay. All right.
Is there anyone else who
So
wants? Yes, there is anyone else who wants to say anything before we close up, because we're about over the hour a little bit.
Thank you so much for your time.
Okay. Thank you. We'll get together one of these days.
You bet.
Yeah.
Well, if you're in Vegas and there's a ceremony, I would love to go. I mean,
Okay. Well,
it might have to be virtual. I don't know. I mean, I
yeah,
know.
I was supposed to meet Obama over there October, but I said no. He meets enough people. Some kind of leadership program. I don't know what I wasn't interested in. Otherwise, the most important people over there is my daughter and her grandchildren. Probably everybody else too, but I don't know all of everybody.
Steve, is there a ceremony you want to do to close out? Do you want to? I opened it up. Do you want to close it out?
What's today?
6?
It's a full moon.
Oh, today's moon.
It's a full moon going in. Yes, 10:45 East Coast.
Moon of the what?
Libra.
In Libra, it's a pink moon.
Moon of the eagle. It's the moon of the eagle.
Oh.
Yes.
Yeah, moon of the eagle. In April. Yeah, I think it's moon of the eagle. Because we got the moon of the Tunkashilas, or the buffalo, the Tunkashilas, the grandpas, the whales, and the eagle. Yeah, so then the butterflies, then the tree. Then you got the moon of the turtles, the moon of the fireflies, the moon of the corn, moon of the bear, moon of the spider, moon of the grandmas, and the moon of the heart. So there's like 13 moons.
Wow.
So we're in the moon of the eagle, and this is the time when the eagle starts to start looking at your spiritual vision. Just say you can be blinded by the word I, but you could see more by using the eagle's eye. In other words, get rid of your ego, then you can be able to see better, We just told that to him there. Try to speak. We did that. We did the ego thing. I think it was a message on 11/11 over in Cahokia. And that was the message. All right, all us teachers, we got to get together. When we teach, do not use the word I, So everybody agreed on that. Then I messed up in Sedona. I used the word I in the middle of my one of my lectures. I stopped. I said, "Oh shit!" I used the word "I," but we had fun with it, you know. But yeah, it's the ego, and ego is like you could. It's a confrontational thing. Once you use the word "I," whether it's good or bad, or it doesn't matter. It's confrontational because that's just the way we are as human beings. But when you use the give the honors to the messenger, then they're not, you know, there's nobody to argue with or question really. You know, unless if it's a two-legged messenger, it seems like you could question it for one time. But the energy of it the people will feel it. So like when I was doing a ceremony one time, I said, "Oh, there's a little flower here, and this flower wants to speak." And everyone went, "Oh," because the energy of that flower, you know, is like, who wants to argue with the flower? You know, you know, there's no need, there's no reason. So yeah, so the energy of the spirit will set it. So ego, if you go egoless, then yeah, the messages are a little bit stronger. They're better. So if you go through that manual, there's the I is almost. I think it's absent unless they say I am, then they give their name, and that's about only I that they'll mention in the message. But it's egoless. So that's what we gotta utilize in our when we speak to people. Eliminate the word I. Then you become a good messenger. You know, all the Galactic Federation, everybody starts coming in because they're egoless. You attract that energy to yourself. Come in.
Athena, may I ask one question in regard to that?
Yes.
When there's a language of the I am right now, and throughout the spiritual community, and I really resonate with what Chief just said, the ego to the eagle. So how do you synthesize that, if that makes sense, what I'm asking?
Chief, you want to answer that?
Oh, say that again. I thought she was talking to you.
Are you talking to me?
Either one. It's and like you said, maybe I've answered my own question. I'm not quite sure, but there is and I might be too literal right now, but I loved what you just said. I resonated so greatly with the learning to dissolve the I. And in addition, though, there's a languaging, and language is really important because it's sound and resonance. And there's a language within a lot of different, going on in a level of consciousness, the I am language, you know, the I am presence of God. So can that coexist, or is that a contradiction to the egolessness of the ego?
Yeah, when you're egoless, you're not connected to. You're not connected to anything but yourself. When you're working with being egoless, then yeah, you're connected to anything that's not in the physical. See, ego is more physical, and they're not interested in titles. You know, they're not interested in anything, and their language is different because they use the simplified light language where the root words of English are not connected in their light language.
Right.
They don't use I think, you know. They use I know or no. They don't use maybe or if. Not much of any of those I think, you know. They don't use any of that. It's just a straight form of it is or it isn't, you know. They don't use the word hope either. I hope you get home safely. You get home or you don't, you know. So hope, it's just the way we talk as human beings. It's some of it's so ridiculous. Then you got to know the root words. there's so many root words that we utilize that are we don't know what we're saying. There's so many language involved in the English language, you know, that come from different countries, different cultures, Greek, Latin, and you know, name it. And, it's all combobulated, so we don't know where it comes from. All these sayings, like, yeah, right. You know, where'd that come from? Someone made that up. Come from a movie. Whatever, you know. Them comes them the energy of it. When I first heard that, I said, that's really disrespectful, you know, because we didn't grow up like that. We grew up listening to elders, you know, when they talk, you shut up, you just listen, because you're going to learn something. But nowadays, no, mom, I don't think so, mom. You know, there's these all these what do they call them, generation gaps that pop up here and there. But yeah, they're not connected to those when you're egoless. You just, it's the language that's you got your left brain and right brain language. The light language is the middle, so they use so that you could grow. We asked about that. Yeah, spirits are talking funny. We didn't understand the light language. They said, "Oh, that's a middle of the. It's a right and left brain language." So it keeps you egoless because everything that we learn came from a source. You know, everything that we learn came from a source. So we always have to give credit to that source, no matter what it is. Whether it's a little ant, you know, or a spider, or an eagle, or even a person, you give source. We learn. If there's nobody around, we won't learn too much of anything. We give source. Reverence taught me this, you know. She taught me that. So it doesn't hurt to give source. So that's where you're egoless. And the thing that's around the source is there, but it's on an esoterical level. But it's the source is knowing. Ego is about thinking. So anyway, hope that helps.
Thank you.
All I see is red wonder. I was talking two words. There it is again, red wonder. There's my picture.
Well, I'm pretty dark. Here I am.
Oh, who's this?
This JP.
JP.
Red Blenders was a handle for Instagram.
JP.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know anything about Instagram or Twitter.
Okay.
I just know YouTube. Put on YouTube, smooth jazz, and I've just let it play all night.
So those of you who are interested, Chief Golden Light Eagle has the Star Knowledge Conferences is on YouTube, and you can check out that information. I want to say thank you guys all for showing up tonight. Thank you, Chief Golden Light Eagle. Thank you, JP, for bringing all your beautiful friends. Thank you, Light Beings, for showing up. I really appreciate you guys. So stay happy, stay high, stay bright, dance, play, write, enjoy your recovery, rest, retreat.
Yeah,
we've earned it. We've earned it.
No, it's a vacation. It's a spring break.
We're on spring break. Okay, blessings and light. I will put this into a YouTube video and I will send it to JP and we'll share it with you, everyone. So blessings and light. And Chief, thank you so much. We love you on this wonderful full moon.
Good night. Thank you all.
Sweet dreams.